Here, another of our little how-tos for you. This one's the basics of putting a little route onto the chart and then putting it into the plotter. Hopefully you've seen our intro to plotters, so you understand how the plotter part of your equation works. And we're just going to do a little bit on the chart so you can see how that works, and then we transfer it over. So first thing you need to do is have a little idea of what you're going to do. And we're going to come out of this marina here. We're down in Poole today, beautiful weather. And we're going to go for a little circular run around the middle channel, down and across the main ship channel, all the way down to Bellboy, the South Cardinal at the bottom of the harbour, and then back round again along the North Channel and back into our marina. So that's the little route we want to do. We could just do that visually, trying to spot the buoys, but actually it might be helpful to have an idea of the bearings and distances between each of them. Now we can do that using one of these, which is a Portland plotter. I just always think of it as a ruler with a roundabout on. And what we need to do is line up, having chosen our waypoints, line up the edge of the plotter along the two waypoints, and we turn the roundabout in the middle to it's facing due north on the chart, and the grid on the roundabout needs to line up with the grid on the chart. And then once it's there, we can read off the bearing, and we can see there it's actually 296, and we're just going to do it in true, which is what the chart is in. I'm not going to worry too much about the conversion to magnetic because this year it's almost nothing. So that would be a bearing of 296, and then we can measure the distance. So between our two waypoints there and there, we are 0.3 of a nautical mile. This is one whole nautical mile, so we're doing 1, 2, 3, 0.3, and I've done that all the way round to give me bearing and distance all the way around, and I've actually got 11 little waypoints, which will give you an idea of how detailed we can be. It doesn't matter about the fact that it's only short distances, it's to give you the concept of what we do, and if it was much greater distances, exactly the same. Now if you're on a reasonably small boat, trying to read these small numbers and distances while you're going along is pretty difficult, so there's ways you can do it. I quite like a whiteboard, suits me. I'm quite a messy worker. I find I do it in pencil on a bit of paper and I lose it, so whiteboard's good for me. So you can do it as a list. So from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2 is a bearing of 296 degrees, true, and a distance of 0.3, and then bearing from 2 to 3 is 270, 0.3 again. Now if you like that style, that's great. I'm more pictorial, so I've just drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've drawn it pretty much like the shape of what we're doing. There's my bearings, 296, and there's my distances. And what's quite nice is that if you have a different colour, as you get to each waypoint, you can just strike them off. Just a nice, easy way to do it. I'm more pictures than words, entirely up to you. But once you've done that, and you've got a picture of what you're going to do, you now need to put it into the plotter. So having done all my little route information on the chart, and I've done that to give me a picture in my head of what it's going to look like and what my intentions are, I'm just going to very quickly put it in the plotter. And lots of people, once they've done this a few times, think, I don't need the chart. But without the chart, it's really easy to lose your reference. So on this plotter, I just touch, and it gives me some options. Build route is one of them. And now I can build the route just by moving the waypoint around from where I wish to have them, and then I press go to. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our waypoints in. So we're going to have one there, and then we're going to have one over here, and then we're going to come down to this cardinal, and being a cardinal and a west cardinal at that, we're going to go to the west of it, and then we're going to come across the channel pretty much at 90 degrees, and then a waypoint, and then we're going to come all the way down to this east cardinal, and we're just going to go just beyond the east cardinal. And when you look at the chart, it's more obvious that there's actually an inner and an outer route. So from there I was coming down to the next red, which is here, and then from the red I'm coming down again. Oh, I missed that. See, that didn't pick up. Let's do another little push. That's better. and then we're coming down, crossing the channel, and obviously we've got to be careful because we're crossing the channel at a diagonal angle. Not necessarily the best decision, but we're going to go with it for the moment because it's a good learning point. We're coming across and going again, just there, and then we're going to come up. We're coming up the second channel, up the inside. We've got one there, and you can see there, just having that ability to have that little refer back to the chart, make sure you've got your points in the right spot, makes it all a bit more sensible. And then we're back up to the marine. We're ever so lucky here because we can do a lovely circle around some of the sandbanks. Press that one. Now we've finished build, and now we can actually look at the route plan. I'm just going to flash that up, and it gives you a little picture of what you're doing and all the waypoints. Couldn't be better. Once you've finished all of your little waypoints, and they literally are just spots placed on the surface of the earth, and as long as the chart's in the right place on the surface of the earth, we'll be doing exactly that route. You'll end up with a little picture like this. Now, we can double check that the information is correct. If we go into the menu, and we go and find our routes, there's our route, and now we can view the route plan. Now, nearly all of them, the first line is rubbish because it's from where the boat currently is to the first waypoint, which is actually outside the marina. So you need to, on this route, ignore the first line. And then the next one is 296 for 0.36. And if we go back to our little board that we had 296 for 0.3. And we're talking pencil widths, so we don't want to be too hung up about it. And I would actually write down 295, because on the compass it's only in every 5 and 10 degrees. 296 is a bit daft. 295. Next one, 270, 0.3, 270, 0.3. So the information is exactly the same. So you're double checking what you did on your plan, double checking what you put in the plotter, and visually you're looking at the chart to make sure that the whole thing makes sense. Now we've got a little joy today because we're actually going to take our boat out and we're going to follow this route round for you and give you a skipper's eye and a bird's eye view of the route that we follow. So you can see how it works afloat and all the information that you need to take on.